The following dysfunctional gaming podcast was filmed in front of a live Twitch audience.
7.
What's happening? Not 7, 1, 0, now. Play. I have to turn us off. For some reason, we're talking in stream as well. Hey, how's it going, Stygian? Welcome to Talking D&D from Dysfunctional Gaming. I am Thundercat0420. Over to my left, my right on here, but that's GM Patch Nasty. How you doing today?
The other man with the hat. Hello.
What are we doing today?
Talking D&D. It's Tuesday, and
That's right.
well past 6:30.
I had some
Flawless
technical
execution.
difficulties starting this stream up, but we got it going. Everything's working now. Hopefully, everything's working now.
Yeah, Thundercat had to get one of his new Elgato stream pedals working because now he can do
I saw
snare
that
drums
thing.
and hi-hat. It's so fucking.
I think it's pretty cool if you want to be able to do like close-ups and stuff while actually like still gaming. Like you could like press the button with your foot and be like, oh, and then like go back to like shooting people.
It's a foot it's a foot pedal with an Elgato logo on it. That's like $150. So I mean, you could get something that does similar things that doesn't have the Elgato logo. I don't know how much it is. I'm just ballparking. It's Elgato.
It's probably more than that,
Yeah, 6 buttons on a piece of plastic is 80.
to be honest. Well, anyways,
3 foot pedals. I'm sorry, Stitch. 3 foot pedals.
Three parts on 1 foot pedal.
Yeah.
3
3
buttons.
buttons for your feet.
So today we're going to be talking about building a dungeon, but we're actually going to be homebrewing a dungeon right now. Well, not right now. In about 5 minutes, we'll be homebrewing a dungeon. So if you want to see what the dungeon looks like, we can load it up on to our Patreon and onto what else can we load it on? Twitter,
Instagram.
Discord. I don't know.
We
We
have
don't need to put it
Instagram.
on Patreon. Yeah, we could put it on Instagram. We'll have it on our Discord. We'll load it up somewhere. So if you want to see the actual final product on graph paper, that's what we'll do.
You can stop yammering on about it. What did we do last? What did we talk about last week?
We talked about subclasses for the monk, the monastic traditions.
We got rough and rumble, and we punch things with our monks.
And we also released our newest episode of Zombo Force on YouTube. Check us out.
I also think we had one of our better episodes of the War for Garaxia to date.
That
On
was
Friday.
really fun. It was really silly and fun. And I'm just I kind of thought about it later, and I feel like I should have decided not to go along with everything. Imagine Vandal when his face would have what would have happened, dude. Think about it. It would have been
the immediate when he was like, if anybody wants to turn. Yeah, I was like, because as soon as you said it, as soon as you said it, I'm like, why is he giving us an out?
Yeah,
because I was like, what happens if I take the out?
I almost did. Think of what Sandy Tinkers could have become.
Nothing. Because you wouldn't have had magic. They would have forcibly taken it from you.
I wouldn't need the magic.
Because you were the magic all along.
I just needed to sell my knickknacks all along. That's it.
Anyway.
I could solder that together in like 2 hours. Well, Stitch, there you go. Start making yourself some stream pedals. Stream pedals. Well, let's get into it, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you want to catch our old podcast, where do you get it?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Same with the War for Garaxia. Same for Zombo Force. If you Google Zombo Force, that'll bring you to the YouTube. Bingo, bango, bongo. You're there. See, look. Stidge already gets it. He already made his own stream deck. So, yeah. Feet deck.
Nice. I have the stream deck, but I use the app on my iPad, so I don't have to buy the actual machine. Yeah, for once a year. Not that bad.
Yeah, $25. Yeah, same that I do.
Not that bad.
Mm-mm.
All right. So we're gonna build a dungeon today.
Yes.
What are some of the things that all dungeons need to have?
A secret entrance.
Okay, I'm gonna write
A
that
fake
down.
entrance.
Secret entrance. Fake entrance.
Mm-hmm. Those are the two things
Okay.
I always have to have in my book. The rest of it is just rooms. At least 5 rooms.
Well, they gotta have traps.
I mean, they don't have to.
Oh, come on. It's not
No,
a
'cause
dungeon
see,
then. Then it's just a. Then
I'm
it's just
sorry.
it's a house with rooms in it.
You've played with me. I can put so many different objects in a room, and then you just think they're all traps, and you don't touch anything. It depends
Okay.
on how long I've been playing with people.
But that's not a
'Cause-
dungeon.
Well, I mean,
If
you
you're
can
going
have puzzles
after-
and no traps.
All right, then what else do you? I know what you need. You need a bad guy.
Yeah,
Why else you going in?
treasure. You need
who's
treasure.
Who's treasure?
Mm. A
Some
long
bad
forgotten
guys.
artifact. I mean, it depends. It depends on the dungeon. The dungeon needs a reason for the players to go to it. That's the first thing it should have.
Stitch said traps, but he said whips first.
Well, I mean, a reason for it. Yeah, see there. Thank you, Stitch. Right there. It's a reason. The why.
So you go through 5 rooms. There's nothing in there. Nobody in there. No bad
well, I
guys.
mean, why am I going?
No
why are they
treasure.
going to the dungeon in the first place? Is the question that I need to ask, or I need to answer. So are
Okay,
they?
So why?
So it's either typically most dungeons are you're going to get X or you're trying to rid Y from X.
Okay.
That's the variable. Or you could have the complete and other one. Why was the dungeon built to house treasure? Why are we going there? We want that treasure. Or in the case of Undermountain, it's just a ridiculous dungeon that has a history, a reputation. Like the Tomb of Horrors has some crazy, crazy treasures, but some ridiculous. No one ever lives to see the light of day ever again. But yeah, I would say they're going there to get some immensely powerful magic item and treasure. That's because then I can be vague as to what the actual dungeon is, and they have to either figure it out or they don't.
Whose treasure is it?
An ancient civilization, an ancient elven civilization, long forgotten by time. So it's either probably some ornate sword or some OP bow. Something the heroes need, or something that has a story behind it.
What if it's like some sort of like circlet of intelligence or something, like something that
A MacGuffin,
yeah.
like something that the players need. The sword of the
Yeah.
ancient elven king still on his rotted corpse. Yeah, I mean,
Perfect.
boom.
Okay. So uh in most cases that would be the last room where they find that treasure, right?
Not
Like,
necessarily. Depends on.
That's what you would base the dungeon off of that room and work your
Yeah.
way to like work around
could.
that. So like that's how I would, because I wouldn't want like I don't
You could do.
I want you to
could do
go
a
through
straightforward-
most of the dungeon.
Right. There's the you can go most of the dungeon, or you have to when you Tarantino them. Be like, oh, it's
I
in the
think-
first room, and then the door seals shut behind you. The only way to go through the only way to get out is to go through. It now.
That's the national treasure aspect.
Yeah. Like you're starting at Pulp Fiction, like you're starting in the restaurant, and then it goes like there's the robbery, and then you see how they got to that robbery. Kind of like that. Like you're starting at the end and working your way to the beginning. Full on Legend of Zelda that bitch.
That would also give you an enemy to fight at the end if you wanted to go that route. He's not dead. Yeah, that's true. It could be like a Death Knight or something. Like a reskinned, whatever level they are, something to.
So
like I did
that's,
with
that's my
your
next
dragon.
question. I mean, they're going to get this powerful sword from the ancient Elven King. When we keep referring to they, it's a party of how many people? Let's just say 5.
Yeah, well, we could just use our adventurers that we've already built.
Well, I mean, you can also reskin it for other adventures too. So that's why I was thinking of that.
Well, yeah,
like,
so
on average, 4
we'll say 4
yeah.
or 5. Yeah, 4 or 5, exactly.
What level is the next question?
I would say 7 to 10.
7 to 10. Okay, so kind of beefier traps. Depending on where they are, combat can be kind of like easy to normal, and then the last one will probably be hard. Okay. Yeah. So I could probably, let's say, you got your pencil ready?
Oh yeah.
Let's do at least 10 rooms. At least. That's
Okay.
not including the secret entrance and the fake entrance.
Okay.
Where 3 of those 10 rooms are red herrings. Like they're rooms that have nothing in them. Like they're rooms that are like mimics or like trap rooms. Like not traps, but like monstery traps. Like
They're just
a room full
they're for like to take a few hits, basically.
Take a few hits and then have a room to rest in.
Type of stuff.
Yep. I always feel as having those monsters that just need to eat, the players won't talk to them. Like if you have something that has sentience, like it can have a conversation, the players can try and subvert a way around it, or have them join them, which is always a good thing. Sees how people think. All right, so there's 3 rooms already planned. Let's do a couple different traps. I want to do a couple different traps now that we're doing some dungeons. What are some of your favorite traps there, friendo?
Bro, I'm a sucker for a pit hole. Like
everybody's a sucker for a fucking
like
pitfall.
You walk forward and you fall into a hole. Like it's just so easy to do. Like
all right, could we turn it up on its head? Have it like a gravity well? Like instead of a pitfall, like you get sucked to the ceiling in this.
You walk forward. You can see above you spikes, like something would fall down. Like the spikes are going to come down on you.
I like it. I like it.
And then you step forward, and the spikes don't come down. You go up.
Yeah, that gives you a chance for the party to kind of like save themselves, and then you have that threshold where they can't try to save each other. So.
Gravity spikes. Okay.
Gravity spikes.
I always like. I mean, the illusion ones are always fun too.
Illusion ones, you can throw those into anything, and they don't even have like you can. Like, there's a room full of like there's 4 displacer beasts in a room. Roll initiative. 2 of them are illusions. Boom.
Or all of them are illusions, and you can't tell until you get close enough to hit them.
That's even. You're all right. You
have to get within 10 feet to make a perception check to see them, to see if they're real or not. So you have to get into the room. How many do you want to give
with your illusion?
You could do like mental damage if they fail. I think that's cool too.
So Tomb of Horrors, they had an illusion trap that you guys fell for. Remember when the whole tomb started to shake down? And I started to count back from. So when you guys got to the end,
I don't remember.
I started to count backwards from 10, and you guys started to leave and retrace your footsteps out. If you would have stayed there through the 10 seconds, nothing would have happened.
Oh, gotcha.
You would have it was like that type of a decoy to see if you guys would have run through or anything. I like those types of traps just to see like put panic on players and they don't know what's going on, especially since they've gone through, every trophy trap that I can throw at them and turned 2 people naked and 1 into a dude.
You could always pull you don't have to actually do a trap. You could pull like a con, have a prisoner that's actually a bad person. That they take in for a few rooms.
Yeah, there you go. We combine that. Stidge's got a good idea. The illusions that are NPCs that aren't actually there. So you have a convict who's locked up that only they can see, and it's literally them just going crazy in this dungeon. I like that. Ooh.
I like the illusions that do mental damage, that like are so scaring and frightening that you take mental damage. I just think that's always been pretty cool to me.
You could always do the have them all make X check as they walk in and go, okay. And then start to throw in NPCs that either are there or aren't there, depending on who passed and who failed. That's a flexible trap, because then you can utilize it throughout the entire thing.
Also, being an ancient elven, whatever, you could have it be like Fey rules and do like time travel stuff inside. Like you walk into the dungeon, once you step past the barrier, time changes differently in the inside than it does in the outside because it's a Fey realm or whatever. That's something else
because it depends on what aspects you want to take from the Feywild. Because I know leaving the Feywild, that's where it starts to time gets wonky.
Well, yeah, that's what it's the same thing. Like you go in and when you leave, you don't know how much time passed. It could be years. It could be minutes. It could be go back in time.
Reading it.
Yeah, there are also those chase illusions where there's a big fake danger that pushes the players towards the more dangerous. Yep.
Honestly, I'm really just thinking just have the dungeon be one big illusion trap. Use every type of illusion trap you can for the people who failed when they walk in. Or if they go to the wrong entrance, that's where the illusion trap happens.
I like
when they find the right one.
I like where you're at with this, but I think we should do, for the listener and the viewers benefit, we should probably start with like an easier dungeon and work our way up to that big ass fucking illusion dungeon.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been doing this for what, 51 episodes? You got kind of a grasp on how my mind works. Just fuck with them the whole time. Oh, and all the gold is just worthless rock. The illusion is gold. Yes, I like that.
Okay, so let's start building this dungeon. You walk. What's the climate? Before entering, before you enter, like we don't. I want to just where we are, what kind of
woods. So I'm thinking it's like
woods.
Springy type weather normally, like 50s, 60s, kind of crisp.
Okay. Is this dungeon an underground dungeon? Is it built into a large tree that goes straight up? Does it go?
No, it's so how it works.
Castle, an old city.
What it is, it's ancient elven magic. It kind of works with like a time and relative dimension and space. So like you find the appropriate tree, you speak the elven word for friend, Belloc or whatever, and the tree opens up and you step into this, I really want to say city, and then have these 10 rooms be different locations in the city, because it sounds cool.
Like they're all connected somehow through some sort of
secret
teleportation
tunnels,
magic or like
something like that. Yeah. Because I like because most dungeons, when you think of them, they're underground. Like it's always underground.
So how about the spot that you go into where you speak Elven for friend opens up to this like large round room. It looks like the trunk of a tree almost. And in each spot around the outside of it are 10 doors. And this is like the lobby for the dungeon. You open each door and it brings you to either a tunnel that walks you down and around, and you can take lefts and rights, and it all always leads to the same room, but along the way it could be monsters in this one, and then the next one could just be a door that opens to a closet that has all of the food stacked or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get it.
Go with it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna make a circle. I'll use this shot glass.
I just realized I could have been fucking doing this on my little Foundry VTT thing, and then have that behind me.
You could put it up on the thing, and I could share it, and I have the 3 window thing as well.
I could. We'll do it next time.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Well, next time I'll have plenty of time to think about it beforehand. Multiple paths leading to one room that is different depending on which door you enter is always fun too. Exactly. Because you never know what you're going to get.
Okay, tell me what you think the first room should be.
Before we go into this first room, I would like to build the fake entrance.
Okay.
So the wrong tree. I think.
What the hell was that sound? That sound was so fucking funny. It sounded like Ironhide was just finished a cake or something.
I think if you go to the wrong tree and you speak friend, it turns into a tree ant and you roll initiative. That is the fake entrance. That can happen as many times as the DM decides.
Okay.
Okay. So that's done. Check.
How do you find the right tree then? What's the check?
Nature checks. Nature checks. If you have a druid that can speak with plants, the tree won't talk back. You will find the right tree by you can't talk to it because it's not a tree. It's actually a door. It's a gate.
And it has some sort of rune that's like hidden. You have to kind of like move some moss or something and see. Oh, that's the rune that we're looking for.
I mean, yes and no. I would say no because you need to get a spell scroll for speak with animals, so your wizard can learn how to do it. Hire a druid. I would make a side quest just so you had a druid, so you can get into this place. Just because it's lost from time. I don't want to make multiple outs for him. I just want to have the one.
Okay.
All right, first room. The entrance.
Yeah, I got it as a circle right in the middle of my map. Like that. How's that look?
Good to me. And they came out from the middle?
Yeah, they would like go they have to say the word and then they get transported into the middle somehow.
Okay. All right, so I would say the middle is like just an entryway, full of like stained glass, like yellow, like ambers, almost like sap with moss coming through it. Foresty floors on the bottom. I would have some grasping vines as some ways to impede their movement if I needed to. If they left a door open and things were trying to chase them, those would be insurance traps, essentially.
Okay.
But on walking in, Really nothing of entrance. Like it's
Yeah,
just nature. It's a mud
big
room.
doors. Yeah, there's just big doors around the whole outside that you kind of decide. Now, does each door have a different pattern on it? Is it the same exact wooden door, or are there like carvings? Like
I would say once again,
you pick one door. It's got carvings on it for like with like bears and owl bears and raccoons.
Once again,
and
to stay nichey, I would say that they're labeled. The doors are labeled for those who can speak Elven and Druidic.
I would say so just Sylvan.
Just Sylvan. How about we?
Because Sylvan's the old Elven. If you speak Elven, you can pick up like a word, maybe out of all of them. You pick up one word out of all 10 because it's still the same word that's
Sylvan.
Elven.
So that gives you an out for people with comprehend languages or tongues or anything like that. Well, comprehend languages because tongues is only spoken. All right, so we've got 10 doors now. I'm gonna grab a die.
Okay, I got my random tables here. If you want me to roll anything, pick anything.
All right, well, I'm just gonna roll a door. So behind door number 9, that's where we're gonna start. So we have to have 3 rooms that are red herrings.
Okay.
So behind door number 9 is a randomly generated encounter from a predetermined dungeon table.
Okay.
I want to say...
Hold on, I have some right here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of things that like are like plant-based in nature and also elven. And I know the first ones that are coming up to mind are tricolored fronds and shambling mounds are fucking miserable. Twig blights.
Here we go. Encounters. Forest encounters.
Here we go. Bears.
Did you want to roll?
Sure, let's roll. Let's see what we get. Well, what do I have on there for creatures?
Well, this is going to be fun because the higher you go, the better they go. Let's see. We have wolves.
So wolves is number 1.
We got elk, deer.
What's number 100?
100 is overgrown castle ruins.
Okay, well, to simplify this for the audio listeners, when I'm thinking like a dungeon table, it's usually got like.
What about the great white stag of the mountain?
I could make something around like that would be like an NPC type of deal. I would have,
or it could just be a baddie that just like is protecting its land when you open the door and it sees you as intruders, that kind of thing. It's just like you go out, you open the door, you go in, and once you go in, you're like on the side of a mountain. And you're like,
sure,
completely confused on why the side of a mountain is through this door. And then you just see this big white stag like looming up above as the snow billows down. You're like, where the hell did this snow come from?
Fuck it.
And then the stag, you see this big huff and all the steam comes out of its nose and it starts bounding down the mountain after you.
Sure.
Roll initiative. And hope that you're not and hope that you're not the first one in line because this stag is going to run you over. I like it. Great. Or it could just be a great white shark.
No.
You could have like whoever is rehearsed in history do a history check when they see the stag, and then you could have like some history, like lore about it that they might know.
Yeah, that's. I was thinking
then
like the
why
Great
they-
White Stag
wha-
could
Go ahead.
potentially be like the left hand man of the dead king. But I mean, you never know. Like
Oh,
literally,
so like
it's
an
one of
actual elven person that's just a big dude.
yeah.
He's the
Like
he's
it's
the
it's
he's
very
the mountain, the literal mountain.
Mm-hmm. One of those things where I was like, that's so abstract. I could
just
do
wrote
anything.
I just wrote Great White Stag of the Mountain on the
Yeah.
in a box. I just wrote it. I made a box where the door is and wrote Great White Stag of the Mountain. You can picture out whatever you want with that.
Yeah, and then I mean, you can do it like abstract, or you can literally do anything with it. Just have to throw that in there.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Next turn there, Kevo.
Just a plot point. Roll a d10.
Rolling a d10. God fucking damn it! Stop hopping out. A 3.
Okay, number 3.
All right. What do you want to do with this from? What else you got on that table there, brother?
Oh, you want me to look at the table again?
I mean, if that's what you want to do, unless you got something in your brain space.
Be a giant centipede.
Sure. I mean, bugs. Bugs are always a pain in the ass.
It could be three strange old women.
That's a hag coven. That's where mine goes immediately.
Or maybe they're fairy godmothers.
Sure. I mean,
The opposite of hags.
I'm not a nice DM, so no. I would not do that.
No, but think of all the annoying things you can do as a fairy godmother.
Think of all the annoying things I could do as a hag.
You shouldn't be drinking. Bling, and turn the ale into a cherry drink. There you go.
I mean, I could, but then again, I also know my players, and one of them will try to kill it. So it's something
you, fairy
I will.
godmother. What if they're just old women and they're just bitching about knitting?
It's a quick encounter.
The longer you stay in the room, the faster you grow old.
There you go. Now you're speaking my language.
So you hear these women bitching about knitting, and a couple of the characters are like, whoa, what's going on here? And they end up staying in the room for like 2 hours trying to figure out what the issue is with the grandmothers who are just bitching for no reason, but to keep them in the room. And they come out 2 hours later and they look like they've aged 10 years.
Yeah, I like that. I'm perfectly fine with that, because then it's a social encounter that turns out to be a trap. Perfectly fine with that.
All right, so 3 old women. So there you go. So yeah, I instantly went hag too, but I wanted to kind of throw out some other ideas as well. Three old women. I like it. All right, so we got one more room for random.
5.
You said three were
Red herrings.
random and red herrings.
Yep. Yeah, they could be anything. You can interpret it how you want to. Basically.
We got a talking tree. We got blind wanderer, rabbits, a tree falling across the path. This one could be the dungeon, the one in the hallway where you just walk down the hallway the whole way.
Yeah, like the stairway to heaven, and you just go nowhere.
or it opens up to a large room where they have a battle with a bunch of tree things or something.
Yeah. I mean, yep. Are we doing talking trees? Is that what you rolled on, or?
No, I was just looking at all the stuff that's here. I was kind of just thinking stuff. So, like, what if they follow a long tunnel that brings them to a large room? We'll say like a 50 by 50 room.
Okay.
Infested with trees, like small bushes, large trees overhead. You can't even tell if there's a ceiling on the place because there's so many, like, so much tree cover above you.
There's a canopy.
Yeah. And so as they enter the room, one of the trees falls into into the doorway, and there's no way out. And then there's an encounter that they have to fight. But maybe there's like a magical item buried in the mess. Not the one they're there for, but something that they could use.
Something different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
So it gives, because it's a fight, and then they find a little treasure. All right, roll a d10.
All right. Yeah. 2.
Okay, this is our tunnel to tree fight. Some magical treasures there, maybe some potions.
Mm-hmm. Couple of a bag of seeds.
Yeah, there we go. Let them have some special magical seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
I think they should. I think one of the rooms should be where they fall upon, like someone's lab, but it's an elven lab, so it's much more, and it's
alchemy.
Old, so yeah.
Yeah.
Where they can, if there's an alchemist in their group, can find out some stuff maybe about the place, or maybe they find some information inside that can lead them to the next thing, or... So roll me a d10.
Rolling in a d10. I got another 9. I got another 9. I got a 4.
Old alchemy room with lore. Okay, so we have room number 2, room number 3, and room number 4 done. What's the big bad's room?
10.
What is the big bad? Are we doing big bad?
Of course we're doing a big bad. There's always a big bad in a dungeon.
Okay. Number 10. And is it the king they're fighting? Is it someone that's protecting the king's body?
Well, it's a flame skull inside of a suit of animated armor.
Okay.
So the flame skull's movement speed is 0 because it only moves with the animated armor. So think like Ghost Rider. Is what it looks like. So
So the body moves and
the
the head
animated
goes with
armor
it?
hits. Like you can tailor that to however you want it. But the flame skull still acts like a flame skull no matter what. So it'll have its own initiative counts for the armor and then the flame skull.
And 2 different ACs, because if you hit the armor, it's not going to hurt the
Once
flame
you get
skull.
through the armor, you'll notice
Yeah.
that there's something on the inside of it, and you'll be like, "You fucking piece of shit." Yeah. So yeah, 2 different ACs, 2 different HPs, all kinds of different saves. Plus, also it beefs up your encounter, and if you want, as a DM, if they're doing really, really well, summon some twig blights because it's the king. It can do that. It's the master and domain of this realm.
You could
But
even
yeah,
flavor. You could even flavor the throne room, like having like large pillars that are made of trees, and those trees come to life to help. Like that could be layer actions.
Yes.
All those types of stuff.
Basically, what you'll want to do is make sure you'll use things from the rest of the dungeon in that fight, so it gives those things purpose. That's usually one of the things I like to do.
You could decrease the people that hung out with the old people, their speed for the fight, because they're slower and older.
They're older, yeah. Not wrong.
For this fight, when you fight the king, your 5 feet movement.
Your speed is reduced to this.
All right, so we've got. Ooh, I did the numbers wrong.
Oh no.
Oh, we're okay.
Dude.
We're okay. This is number 1. Okay, so we got 5 done.
Do you asking me or are you telling me?
No, we have 5 done. We need to do 5 more. We have 5 done.
Yes.
What's next?
So we've got our red herrings, we've got some traps, we've got some encounters. You need a couple of rooms of lore, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's why I said the old alchemy room has some lore in it.
Yeah, I mean, you could also throw another room with lore in there. I mean, that's typically what most DMs will do. They'll throw lore in most rooms.
Okay, what's the other room?
I would throw books, something with books. It's like a book.
So it's a huge library. Huge library.
A study or a library.
Like the biggest library they've probably ever seen. If they've never been to Candlekeep.
Our party, they've been to Candlekeep. But yeah. That works.
And they can get as much lore as they want because it's a library.
So prepare all your bullshit, DM.
I'm just trying to think like way bigger than just a room. Like you open a door and you're out in a landscape. You kind of Doctor Strange-esque when they're inside of his monastery, and they have those 3 places where you can like turn the dial, and there's the desert, turn the dial, there's the ocean. Like I'm kind of thinking like you open a door and you're walking out onto a large beach, like stuff like that, where you can really, because you said you wanted it to be like a city. Now like I'm thinking like way bigger, like you open the door and it brings you to a space. Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's a druid's way of moving about the city without having to see people.
Maybe. I that's the thing. It all depends on what we need the dungeon for. You want to put stuff in it without giving too much away, because then you describe exactly what it's for, and then you lose the illusion, or you lose that fucking. That's my way to make dungeon.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to fill out those like last 3-4 rooms.
Because I'll be honest with you there, Thundercat, there are times when I don't put anything behind a door and I roll dice the moment you fucking open it. There is nothing behind there. It's literally a door until I roll dice very quietly behind the table and I go, oh, that's what's behind there. Yes, so you see a family of 5 T-Rexes behind this door. Roll initiative, please. Does anyone speak with animals? Because now would be the time. But yeah, we've done mostly what I do for dungeons is 5 rooms have stuff in it. The rest of them have filler. And if that filler has a way to drain their HP, it's going to be in there as well.
Okay.
I'm not really too big and intricate on my dungeons. I know you are a huge cartographer, map builder, world builder.
It's not just that though. I like to have some substance when so I can look at something and go, oh, okay, this is the room that I had built where there's a desk in the left-hand corner that has information in it, and I have to remember that that's there. Otherwise, I won't. That's why I build all this stuff. All this stuff's here so I can remember that stuff.
If people are searching for things, I usually just have how many times people search for things, they find this information somewhere. You found this, you found something in a book. It's not an actual page of the book. It kind of falls out, and you find this sheet of information that says this. I like to reward players for trying to search for things and then give them something. That's kind of what I'll do in a dungeon. Be like, this seems like it's been picked through because there were people through it, or they've died. And then you'll find corpses in a room. Why are there corpses? Oh, the floor is slowly turning into a gelatinous cube. Why? Oh, well, shit. But yeah, I vary less is more when it comes to my dungeons. I'll have like 4 or 5 things that I need to do. Like 3 elemental traps, a couple of pitfalls that I'll just sprinkle through whenever I need to sprinkle them through. When I feel like people are not off their rocker. When they're not being alert. When they've stopped searching for things. When they've stopped doing investigation checks. When they've stopped checking for traps.
All right, then.
Usually I'll have a general contents like every room is dark unless I say otherwise. Right. Hallways are usually 15 feet by 30 feet tall. So if there's something that's taller than 30 feet, it's not fitting down that hallway. If you have something wider than 3 squares, it's not fitting down that hallway. Elemental features is usually like most of the stones are like slick if you find it out, like that type of thing. Like rooms that have more moss in them and seem to have more what's the fucking word in a forest? Bottom on the ground level. Like if it seems there's more flora on the bottom of the floors, might be rough terrain in those rooms. I would say that. Like if you see a lot of roots and leaves and twigs and shit.
Okay. Yeah. All right, well. We built the dungeon. Kinda. My
dungeons are usually a sheet of paper with information and fights. And then I'll have a map that they'll wander through. Unless it's something set, because then I don't have to plan it, and I can just tweak it.
Alrighty then. Well, I think that's all we've got for today. Let's see. Where are we? I don't think I ended up saving.
No.
My thing from last week. So I have to look at the Discord first. There it is. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So we're going to be talking about some stuff next week. We have what going on the rest of the week for Dysfunctional Gaming.
Friday night is War for Garaxia, starting around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think we're going to be figuring out where we're going. Hopefully. I know I got a sweet shield. And Thundercat got something he can't use because he's a book mage.
No, I'm going to be able to use these. Change that.
I figured. What are we doing on Saturday night?
Might be having a team night. We'll see who's around, but I'll definitely be streaming from here with whoever's around. Most likely Vandal, but we'll see. ED's normally around as well. So around 9 p.m. or 9:30, we'll probably get that started. I will be streaming tomorrow and Sunday night. You can catch me there. You can catch me here on the other days. What about you?
I really am playing it by ear right now because I don't know if I'll get called into work tomorrow, and I potentially have D&D tomorrow because normally it was Monday for D&D, and now schedules are all jumbled. So yeah, follow me on Twitter at GMPatchNasty. I try to post when I'm going live so people can know.
All right. Yeah, and follow us on Twitter, Dysfunctional Gaming. I think it's called Dysfun Game, at Dysfun Game, like that. We'll be back next week talking about what do you want to do? Do you want to do a homebrew week or do you want to do subclasses?
I'm pretty sure we said on subclasses it was going to be 2 weeks that we were doing a homebrew. I don't remember what it was.
Okay, so yeah, we'll do a homebrew. Send us your Valentine's Day monsters and different Valentine's Day things that we can stat. Please send that over to us.
I love stuff.
Please do that. Send us all of your Valentine's Day monsters for us to homebrew. We will make them into D&D monsters, stats, dungeons, whatever we can, magic weapons, items. Let us know what you want us to stat. Please send us some information.
Otherwise, it's just me winging it and coming up with ridiculous things that I like. Cherubs. Figure out what we can stat one of those.
Yeah, we'll do one of those. Catch us then.
Does
catch
D&D
us next
have
week.
a cherub? I'm curious.
Catch us on Friday and Saturday here. If you can't catch up, you can check the VODs. A lot of the stuff is on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube. Like any of the stuff that you like. We'd love to hear from you. Throw us some follows, whatever you can. We'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks. Have a great day. We're going to raid over to someone now.
Who are we raiding over to?
I don't know. I got to see who's on.
Let's see.
Victory is live. Throg is live. Victory's from Maine.
Victory? Let's go see Victory.
Yep. Okay. Pull up this page so I can get it.
I don't know who that is.
I met him through the main event.
Small world then, huh?
Yeah, right? And he's from southern Maine. He works. He lives right down the street from us, apparently.
No shit.
Yeah, he asked me to go golfing with him once, but I couldn't go. I was working. All right, I'm going to throw it in the chat. We're going to head over to the ending screen and see if Randy's here.
No Randy tonight. Randy's got a headache. His fucking head's pounding.
Okay.
Just kind of hit me. And I don't want to do the voice because it does not. No. It aggravates the brain space. But thank you very much for everyone for coming out. That's from the bottom of our hearts. That's why did my camera? I hate it so much. I hate
you guys have a great night. We're gonna head over to Victory. See you guys. Bye.